Hello, everybody. We're getting set up. Hi, Susie Jacobson. How are you today? You know, when we looked at the weather, it said it was going to be, the high was going to be 52 today, but it's in the low 60s. So it's really not as bad as we thought, but it looks like the temperature is going to drop off throughout the day. So we figured today would be a good day for chicken noodle soup. Hello, Scott. Hello, Lori Carp. And hi, Thrifty VG. You're a new face. If you don't mind sharing your name with us, we'd like to address you by your actual name. So we are going to get set up and start serving people. They've been waiting on us. So let's get after it, and I will come back and check comments shortly. Hey, Big Matt. Thanks for stopping by. Hi, Tina Ladybug. Thank you guys so much for being here to support us and praying for our ministry. Hi, Cha-Cha. How are you? We are going to be serving chicken noodle soup today. It's homemade from scratch with hearty, delicious, healthy ingredients, and it is awesome. So let's get set up. Hey, Shannon. Oh my gosh. Hello, guys. So we're going to get set up and start passing out food, and I'll come back in just a minute. Yeah? I washed the thing. A bowl? Oh no. Good Lord. Ready? I think we got it, but if you're hungry. So I washed the ladle, but looks like I forgot to bring it. So we're going to be scooping soup with a bowl. Enjoy. Hey, Craig. It's nice to see you. Hey, Donna Lawson. We got your text message this morning. I'm not sure if Wiley responded to it yet. But Donna has some stuff for us, and she was going to bring it to us. Just let us know when you want to come to Shawnee. You're going to have to run and get me something different. Oh, because that ain't going to work? Well, son of a gun. I got to go to the store and get a ladle. So I'll be back. Wiley's going to do the best. Yeah. Hey, you know what? That's right. One of these bottles let's try that. Huh, that's not bad. Yeah, we're not going to dip it all the way. Now we're just going to. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I can't get down to the bottom. Yeah. Okay. Also, you do what you can with what you got. Knock on the doors if they got a spoon. Hey, Lily, yeah, y'all want some samples here? Yeah, put that over. Yeah, we got that. Yeah, is that good, Thomas? Hold on, Thomas, you just double dip the spoon, man. That's a test spoon. Thomas, that's a test spoon. I'm testing him. Come on, guys, let's go. I can't believe we go grab. That good, Thomas? Clapping. I know. Oh, man. I wish you want to take this. Oh, that little, I don't know. Yeah, that one fell run off. Well, I know.
Your piece get wet, son.
Maybe we can move over under the.
Okay, that's. Your piece get wet, son.
Yeah, it looks like it, don't it?
I understand the good thing to do it.
Yeah.
Your piece get wet, son. You got kids, COVID, pneumonia. Give me a bite.
Sorry, guys. I don't know why the heck we run off without putting something to dip with.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
But come on in here and get your tongue, bro.
Oh, go ahead and
I like you make it a mess. Yeah.
What's that?
Well,
Well, I can't. I was trying to do that, but I can't get all the good stuff off the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She's running to get one.
That's good. What is that made of? Yeah, chicken and broth. Well, yeah.
Chicken, egg noodles, carrots, onions, celery.
It's a good stick.
I can't remember what else she put in.
Let me go get my vegetable.
Okay. Scott, I can stay there and watch your stuff if you want.
No, because we're going to eat right here.
Okay.
Guys, we run off and forgot our ladle. So Jennifer had to run to the store real quick to grab a ladle. I don't know what happened there, but one of us dropped the bomb for sure.
They just showed up here with food. Chicken noodle soup, chicken soup. Yeah, so we're setting up right now and stuff. Yeah. Huh?
We forgot a ladle. She had to run to the store to get a ladle.
Okay, let's go. Okay, well,
I was trying to use this
Hey, I was
bowl.
about to say, I'll take it. All right,
I was
I'm
trying,
going to
but
pick
it's
you up
not
here.
getting all the good stuff. You know, it gets
Hey,
liquid off the top.
told me earlier, the first time he told me he was coming down. Yeah.
Dave?
He come pick you up. Come pick you up. He knew we was going to be eating down here.
You gonna run and get Dave?
Yeah, I'm going to go get
All right.
let's
We'll
go.
say something.
Same plate. Yeah, don't let Thomas eat all of it. Don't let Thomas eat all of it. Oh, you wanted a plate with a phone on it? Well, you just wanted a plate, man.
Go get old Dave, huh? Hey, I ride with I ride with Dahmer.
Oh, you got
Oh, thank you, sir.
Hey.
It's Altruistic FarmStead.
You prefer to be referred to as, or like as
Everybody talks to us as Wiley and Jen. So
I mean, if I was gonna put you guys on a resource list,
Altruistic FarmStead, yeah. Yeah.
hey, there you go.
Hey, pretty good. How are y'all?
Pretty good, pretty good.
It'll-
I got some lunch.
Yes, sir. It'll be just a few minutes though. We forgot a ladle. She had to run down here to the store to grab a ladle. Yeah, all right. Yeah, it did.
Right on.
ain't doing what you doing.
Service, all right.
Well, good luck. You're gonna have to reach in there with your hand to get it. But we forgot to get a ladle. You had to run to the store to get a ladle.
Grab a hold of one hand and I'll grab a hold of the other.
When I want to help out, I can't.
Yeah, yeah. I think you knew the opportunity. See?
Yeah, last weekend, you and ex-mom over. We're open on this midway of go to a job, and it's again, anyways. Broke it. But yeah, it's like hit and miss.
Oh yeah. Whether you get stopped or not. What's that? Oh, okay. You'll be here. It takes very long to get
I got a four work for me. I do his property too. Yeah, a bunch of stuff.
Really?
Really good.
Y'all get sick, y'all.
So you sell them?
Yeah. Wherever somebody's interested, responsible and stuff like that. It's like 3 days. Yeah, I'll pick up. I might pull up over here.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm ready to get that low in there. I hope it's jacket over.
We forgot our freaking tent and everything.
I'm telling you what, we can always go and kick it porch. We go kick in the porch and start.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we can lock it up, but we can open it up.
There she is. So guys, this is the first time it's happening. Looks like we're gonna get a little wet out here today. We forgot our tent, we forgot a ladle, and we're about to get wet, it looks like. And it's a little windy, yeah. Little bit of a rainstorm blowing in. I should have brought some soap so I could take a shower while I'm standing out here.
Go forward, then back up. Back. Now back up. All right.
Oh my
That's your looking like. That? Yeah.
Oh,
That's how God working in my life. I was on my way to Family Dollar to get something to eat. Look at that. Look at that. Just went by hot lunch at park. I started, turned around, started heading back this way. Let me stop right before it started to rain. Man.
no, see my shirt? I'm gonna step back so you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
That's Fowler Farm Fam. If y'all haven't checked them out yet, go check out their channel.
Tell everybody that.
What?
What
happened? Oh, we forgot the tent.
No, he said you said
Oh. It's raining, and we left our tent at home because we didn't think we were gonna need it, and here it is raining. So, but that ain't gonna stop us. Hey, Mennonite Farmhouse, how are you? Hey, Dana. Yep, I had to run and get a ladle because I forgot a ladle. So, golly, it's coming down good. Hopefully, it quits raining soon.
Oh my God! Yeah, you get a little spill, guys.
They didn't have real bowls.
So the rain's gonna pull it down. Yeah.
I tried to hold it.
Good job. That's all right. That's good stuff.
I got two feathers. Now at least it's in the tough where it's dry. Hopefully it'll quit raining. There you go.
Come on, everybody. We're going to everybody.
Yeah. We have a tiny house. We wouldn't all fit in it. Standing up shoulder to shoulder.
There you go.
Y'all can fit like 20 people
Yeah, in a one-bedroom apartment. Yeah. Get it to the car.
Yes, sir. Oh, okay. Hey, Hunter, you hang out under the table. Okay. Here, come stand under this table right here. Don't anybody else say that. Keep going, go. Oh, wait, let me give it up. Oh, I don't think about that.
Eddie.
Watch out. Sorry, these were called dollar store hats. Here you go.
Yep.
Have a blessed day.
All right. I don't blame you.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
If you're cold, go get back in the truck. Oh, okay. Will you get kind of like a half a bowl? I don't know if that's good.
I know there's more people around.
Yeah, I got a refill.
You want a half a bowl?
Yep.
Here, Hunter.
Man, Harley stand close. You know where food is. Why roll over somewhere and come back to Rico?
I saw Paul was that way.
Yeah.
Pulled in.
Yeah, he was over there by the tree.
Oh, okay, fine. Oh, here's one.
That stuff is very good.
Yeah, thank you.
That's what you get when you get homemade chicken noodles.
That is very
Not
odd.
bad of a can.
Very
Thanks. Come back for a second. So hungry.
We have plenty. That's odd. Maybe it's back to the truck.
See? Good walk from it.
Yeah.
I tried to shut one and instead of the shutting, the whole thing tipped over.
That was your bowl. Where's that brother at? That's a good place for you.
Golly, it's cold out here. Oh, Dana, that's so good. If y'all don't know, Dana at Biddy Boo's Homestead, her family's been going through quite a lot. Her daughter had a baby named Cameron, and he's been in the ICU since he's been born. And they had to do some sort of surgery on him, and they failed to give him antibiotics after the surgery, and then he got an infection. So it's really, really awesome to hear that he's doing better. So that's great news, Dana. Thanks for the update. Oh, that's so awesome. I think Jacob is the nurse, and Amanda's her daughter. And fortunately, that baby has a really awesome nurse who cares, because the doctors have really dropped the ball. So, hey, Doug. Hey, Lori and LG, how are you today? I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's raining pretty good here. And it's, 2 open heart surgeries by the time he was 2 weeks old. That's so sad. Hey, Dave. Yeah. Huh? It is raining out here and it's cold. So that wind's blowing and it's wet and it's, I wish we would have brought our tent. I wish we would have brought jackets, but we totally came unprepared. Let's see. You ready for some soup, Dave? You what?
I could have pulled mine.
Oh.
Yeah?
Well,
You've been killing your food.
yeah, I'm blaming the lack of intent on him.
Where's that deer?
Thanks, Jeff.
I didn't think it was
We thought the rain
That's
was
kind of
over,
awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
but it's not.
Yeah. We're gonna sit over here.
Let's get it.
Oh my God.
No, give me one.
Yeah, sorry. I'm slacking on the job.
Just hang on here.
I don't.
What?
I'm not.
You come down here to eat and you're not going to eat.
I
Okay, you're
I'm used to this.
you're looking too skinny, Dave. You need some food. We definitely should check for it.
Be careful.
Yeah. When I delivered the mail, the rain didn't stop me. So it's not gonna stop me from doing God's work either.
It's going to feel easy, Dave.
So it looks like the rain, I don't know if y'all can see that. We're about, actually no, we're not where that little dot is. That's where we live.
I'll get behind you.
Here is Shawnee, and luckily it's not super hard rain, and it's almost over. So, man, it got cold quick. Like, when we left, I had on this long sleeve shirt and took it off because I thought it was going to be too warm, and it's not. So, oh yeah, be careful, don't spill it.
I know it.
Come back for more if you're still hungry, Dave. Hey, Joy, how are you today? What'd you say?
I gotta get my parents to get it.
Oh, okay.
I got. Oh,
You are loved, Dave.
Well, I got a dad and a mom.
Uh-huh.
But that's a lot.
And you got a God that loves you very much.
Oh, this is fucking.
Yep, sure is.
Hey, get up. We'll do my dollar. We'll do my dollar. Oh,
Okay, let's see.
oh, wow.
Hey, Drops. It's nice to see you guys. I'm gonna see if Wiley needs help, and then I'll come back and check on comments. But man, it like rained, and we had the tent in the back of the truck, and we're like, the rain's over, so we're not gonna need it. And then guess what? It rained, and we needed it, and we didn't have it, and now we're all wet and cold. But it'll be okay because we got hot soup to warm everybody up.
Oh, you taking a pig?
It is hard to get those pigs in when they get out.
Go again.
Joey! That's so cool. Hey.
He was headed to the store.
That's what he was saying.
Where did you?
And I caught it. You should have told me you had to go pee when we're at the dollar. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're in the first pot.
That pot has been opened before you got here. This one is out.
What?
Oh,
Oh, that was right on
That's God trying to cool your soup off for you.
right in my eye.
Oh.
Pull my eye.
Yes, we absolutely need a tent topper. And I thought the rain was over, so we left it at home. I was thinking it's going to be nice, cool, no sun, and we're going to leave the tent at home. And then, yeah, you see what happened. Oklahoma had me fooled.
Roller Tuscan over here.
What's that?
Roller Tuscan.
Yeah. And just throw it in the back of the pickup. All right. Hey, Dana. How are you today? How's things going with that baby? You're absolutely right, Drops. Yep. I don't know what I was thinking. We run off without a ladle, and I decided to leave the tent at home. And yeah, its day was pretty messed up. Awesome, Dana. That's good to hear. You want some more? Just throw it in the back of the truck. We forgot to break trash.
Look, this is what happened when I was wrecking my teeth.
Oh no!
Oh, man, I got it all. I know. Hey, man, stuff was too good to slow down. I was like,
I gotta save some for later.
it was good in there. Yeah, that's good. It's good.
You want a lot of juice, or do you want?
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, you tell me.
Yes, dude. I'll put my stuff on it first. Yeah. I should have kept my parents' truck.
I'll get you another one if you want one.
That's good homemade soup for you. Not stuff out of me. Did you get some already?
Yeah, but come on.
Oh, you want more?
Yeah, you're busy.
Oh, you got them in the car?
Yeah, get the floor.
Yes, sir. We are.
That was in your bowl? How the hell did that come off?
We're cool. Trying to off me? Like,
Thanks for bringing it.
What?
I guess the top that goes
don't
on.
worry, I'm not going to call the proper.
There it is right there.
Give him another bowl.
There's the other side of it.
How in the world did that?
I don't have any idea. I guess bounced around the back of the truck, vibrating the bowl.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
More.
I noticed it missing and I was like, where'd that go?
They have to give me the Heimlich remover over there.
Oh, man. I'm glad you're safe, Angel. Oh, he come back to us and said we were trying to poison him because I noticed that like these are canning pots or whatever that we use in our like little safety vent thing fell off. I noticed it was missing and Angel come back to us and brought this and it was in his bowl of soup. Oops. So yeah.
Get as much as you want.
Dana, do it. It's a good day. I don't know what the weather's like in McAllister today, or where. I know you're close to McAllister. I can't remember the name of the little town, but today is a good day for soup, y'all. So. Are you serious? I'm kind of like looking through comments, and Dana, your daughter drove all the way to Oklahoma City and they wouldn't let her see him? Let's see.
Oh, yeah, they were awesome. Whoa.
Oh man, that would be so awesome if you said that, Dana said that Jacob said if he continues like last night, Amanda will get to stay with him in a week or so. Man, I couldn't even imagine. Like, that just breaks my heart and makes me want to cry for her and that baby and your whole family. Like, it really, like, it just about brings tears to my eyes thinking about it, because I have 4 kids and I couldn't imagine giving birth and then not being able to see them. What?
He's cutting down crepe myrtle trees over in the Elks Edition. Look at these canes he's making out of them.
Wow. Those are awesome.
Yeah, I sand them. I got a sander.
Ready for another?
Take a little cut.
Uh-huh.
Sand it down. Well, all these limbs come of it. I got to cut them. Sand all that down. Do all that. Farmer. I sand it.
Awesome.
I got polyurethane. Shot them. They started out so. I mean, they make their own stuff. You got some hands. Look at that right there. You still have that handle, Coach?
Yeah,
It's like
I would have never thought of crepe myrtle, but I never thought about making
look
canes
it
out of
up.
stick. Yeah, for
Look it
sure.
up on Google.
I mean, I see it right here. That's
Crepe
awesome.
myrtle cane, and it'll show you that they're popular to make work money.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
show this off. So this is a branch from a crepe myrtle tree, and he takes the bark off and sands them down and polyurethanes them and makes canes out of them. And he said that they pretty much make themselves. Like, you can, the way the handles are, or I mean the way the branches grow and stuff, like, it makes an awesome cane. It's so cool. So that's awesome. I'm gonna look at the comments real quick.
Coffee tables, you know, we do.
Drops is gonna smoke some turkey wings for lunch. We actually yesterday, we'd bought a turkey at the grocery store like a week ago because it was $1.19 a pound, and to buy turkey lunch meat is like, you know, $5, $6, $7 a pound, depending on what brand you get, and I mean it can be even more expensive than that. So we bought a turkey and smoked it yesterday so that we could slice it up for lunch meat. So turkey sounds good. We had turkey sandwiches yesterday. They're so good. I don't know about y'all, but like fresh turkey with a big thick slice of tomato with some salt and pepper on it and some mayo on the bread. Oh my gosh, I could totally go for a turkey sandwich. But anyway, Dana, yeah, like I just, my heart breaks for your family, and I pray for that baby every single day. Like, I couldn't imagine giving birth to a baby and them taking him away and not being able to see that baby for, you know, over a month. Like, that's insane. Like, it's so fortunate that he's got a good nurse that sends her pictures and stuff and lets her know how he's doing, because without that nurse, it would be so, I feel like that nurse is at least a positive in such a difficult situation. So yeah, y'all definitely send hugs and prayers Dana's way and her daughter Amanda and that baby Cameron, because all the prayers are needed and necessary. So let's see.
I mean, it's going to be a while, but you know, wintertime coming on, we probably ain't going to be doing a whole lot. But we go to these sales.
Drops. I wish I could say we went to the grocery store every 3 months.
We've got a big sale set,
but unfortunately, we probably go to the grocery store 3 times a week. We go to Sam's Club like once a month, and then we go to our local grocery store a couple times a week at least, usually. So.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Hey, Billy Spears, hello. Thank you for stopping by. Hey, Donna, how are you? Donna, the reason the mom can't see the baby is because he was born, I think, with a heart defect or heart condition of some kind. And Dana said by the time he was 2 weeks old, he'd had 2 open heart surgeries. And then the doctors failed to give him antibiotics after those surgeries, and he got a really bad infection. And they finally put him on antibiotics, and now it sounds like he's doing better. So add Dana and Cameron and Amanda to your prayer list because they need it. Like, it just breaks my heart so bad. Here, take this so I don't end up like I'm just standing there holding it, feeling cool. So
Oh, you'd like to hold on to that one.
Okay.
That's so nice.
I'm serious, you would. Man, that's
Yeah.
perfect for a cane.
It really is. Like, check that handle out. It's like natural on that cane. Isn't
The
that
face
neat?
on it just makes it sound look like a little serpent.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
They're awesome.
Homemade chicken.
It is awesome, man.
I can't believe I could make it, but
Yeah.
I started doing
I
it. And I
mean,
was
when
like,
you,
well,
that's how we are. Like, we do woodwork. He was
yeah, that's what he was telling. Yeah, I was like,
And
well,
You want
you
four?
just start doing it, and you're like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. I think that was what cool. And then the final project, you're like, wow, I did that.
You like Eddie?
Yeah.
You eat them all four right now.
I can make something like that. I know this one comes with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for
My
sure.
boss,
Yeah. If you, I know it takes time and takes money to make those, but if you have it in your heart, donate one or two. We volunteer at on Thursdays. You know where that's at? They feed Thursday afternoon. It's over there by the community market on Center Street.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's over there.
Good Shepherd Church.
Well, there's the Good
Well,
Shepherd
thank you.
Church. It's not in the church. It's in the building with like
Oh, okay,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, I know where
So
it's
on Thursdays, we have people come in asking for canes and they don't have it. So if you found it in your heart
at.
to donate a couple or something,
So
they could,
Thursday?
yep, they could give them. They could find somebody who could really. Yep.
There you go. You need
Yeah,
spoons.
'cause like I said, I know they take time and money to make or whatever, but if you found it in your heart or if you felt like you're being led to do that, then it would go to somebody who needs it.
Two enough or?
Y'all probably gonna be over there Thursday?
Yeah, we'll probably be over there tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
What was your name again? Dave or Chris?
Wiley,
Mine's Wiley.
like
Wiley.
coyote, like Wiley
Wally,
coyote.
okay, now
Yeah.
Wally, what was it?
Be careful. Yeah, that's what
Great to meet you.
I was telling you, I live on Island, 824 Highway, right down the thing. But I might have to, y'all, I'll be tomorrow, on Thursday.
Okay. Well, you gave him your phone number?
No, I had,
Oh.
you want to take it down?
Here.
Yeah, you can call me.
You're probably going to get over there with a bag of juice.
Bobby.
Oh, no. Yeah.
This is so right. All the flowers around it, I do all that. All the landscaping. I do this property. I did his tree. He just come off the big, huge, like 12, 13 foot tree. He wanted to put that down.
You know, it's great myrtles like there. They're love it.
It's the one, man.
Because they stretch like back or whatever. Let me get
All right.
bless you guys.
Yes,
Bless
man.
you. Be careful. It's going to be slippery. Don't drop it. All right.
What's your hardest kill? That's some good shit, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I told you where I'm at. We're 824. We're on down. Yeah, right on the other side of Kickapoo. Working.
Big zip on back.
Yeah, you'll see my white little truck. All right, man. Thank you, guys. I'll be there all day. Goodbye.
Yeah, if you don't mind,
Hey, y'all get in the call. What was that?
What's that? You know the one?
We're working on you, Angel. We're working. One more is all you want? Yeah. About one. All right. Okay.
Hey Eddie, don't leave without your guitar. I can come get. You want us to bring it to you? What do you give us? Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah. Got the money. Not yet, anyway.
I usually get the munchies right before bed. Okay, all right, yeah. We paid you off an extra soup.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's our payoff, right
You
there.
have to take care of me.
God bless, Angel.
God bless you guys.
I'm wishing we had something hot to drink in here instead of ice water.
There's soup right there.
I know. Well, we need hot coffee or hot chocolate or something too. Like, I really wish we had like one of those giant like things that we could put coffee or hot chocolate in. Because today would have been a really good day for it. There's a guy that we serve on Thursdays, and he will drink 3 pots of coffee while he's at the mission on Thursdays, just by himself. Hey, Mike at Merino Mysteries, how are you today? Thank you guys all for coming and watching. I hope you've enjoyed seeing us get wet and be cold and shivering. The kids are hiding in the truck because they're wet and cold. We have a bunch of sleeping bags in the back of the truck that we had intended on giving out, but a lot of the people that we've served today, we've already given sleeping bags to, and there wasn't as big of a crowd today, and it's probably because of the weather. People are hunkered down where it's dry, so, and probably out of the wind.
Yeah.
But today, for those of you who come in late and didn't hear it, hey, Roberta's Artistic Adventures, thank you for stopping by. We made fresh homemade chicken noodle soup, and everybody's like, this is so good. And I'm like, well, that's what you get when you make it homemade and it's not out of a can. But we had like a bunch of chicken legs and chicken thighs that we boiled down and shredded, and then fresh carrots, fresh onions, fresh celery, and then a bunch of seasonings like rosemary, thyme, oregano, salt, pepper, garlic, parsley. I can't even remember what all I put in it. And that's the problem, is like Michael and Wiley especially. They're like, man, this is so good. And I'm like, well, don't expect to get it again because I didn't measure anything and I don't remember what I put in it. So yes, Joy. Joy said that, Joy Bless Life said you could use a converted cargo trailer that you stay inside and pass out food supplies from a window. We've actually thought about that. We have an old school bus that we've thought about turning into like a food bus, but we have a couple leads right now on indoor spaces. There's a church across the street that I got contact information for yesterday. Oh, and that's a whole nother thing. Like, I'll get to that in a second. But we're going to make a connection with that church and see if they have a kitchen we could use, maybe an indoor space where people could come inside. And then also we volunteer at Mission Shawnee on Thursdays, and they have an indoor space. So we're going to talk to, I don't know, I forgot the name of the guy who is in charge of like organizing feeding people and stuff. His name's Trevor, but there's somebody else that's in charge that like owns the building, I think, or
manages
the building or whatever. So we need to talk to that guy. But anyway, so yesterday a good friend of ours sent me a Facebook post that was posted, and there was this lady named Lauren. She was hired by the city of Shawnee to be the homeless resource coordinator or something like that. And she's only worked with the city for a few months, and she has made huge strides. Like, even with almost no resources, they've housed 9 people, and so that's 9 more people that don't live on the streets. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but like when you consider the cost of housing and the resources that it takes to put someone in a house that, hey, bye Shannon, have a blessed day. It takes a lot of energy and a lot of money and stuff and a lot of effort to house somebody. So, but she posted on Facebook that the city manager, like her and the city manager, I guess, got into it because he'd brought a toy shopping cart to a city council meeting and was using it as a prop to make fun of the unhoused population here in town. And they got into it because he wanted her to laugh about it, and she didn't think it was funny. She stood up for what she believed in. She believes that, you know, humans are humans and should be treated like humans, regardless of how much money they make or where they live or whatever. And he called her all kinds of names and accused her of things. And shortly after that, they fired her because she stood up for the fact that, I mean, she was hired to do a job. She was hired to connect these people with resources, to help them get off the street. She was hired to help find a solution for this problem. And they fired her because she stood up and said that these people deserved better, and the city manager didn't agree. So even though she was praised for her work performance, she's responsible for bringing $1.6 million in grant funds to this community to help this cause. And then they fired her. Like, it's really sad. It's ridiculous. And it really, really makes me upset. Like, it's exactly, Dana. Like, that city manager needs to be gone. And then what was even more sad is that she posted this on Facebook, and the amount of negative comments she got was ridiculous. People are like, well, we should find out where they come from and buy them a one-way ticket back. How's that solving the problem? That's how a lot of people have gotten here, is because they've been bussed in from other cities, because they're, you know, we don't have a giant homeless population because we're not a big town. But obviously, the more people that reside in a city, the higher percentage of that is, or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know exactly how to say it. My words aren't coming out right. But, you know, the more people there are, the more homeless and unhoused people there are going to be. And it's really sad because everybody wants to just kind of sweep it under the rug and pretend like it doesn't exist and ignore these people and blame them when something bad happens. And yes, I'm not trying to say that every single one of these people is a saint. I'm not trying to say that none of them do drugs. I'm not trying to say that none of them have mental health issues. But the fact of the matter is, not everybody's on the street because they want to be. Some are. Not everybody is, you know, there's so many circumstances that come into play that are out of their control or whatever. Like, it's just, and once you get to that spot, like, it's so hard because you can't, I don't know. Y'all heard me talking to Angel, and Angel wants to get his driver's license, but he has to get his birth certificate from Texas. And he doesn't have a phone. He doesn't have he doesn't have access to the internet, so he can't call the records office, can't request the records online. Like, it's people will go to sleep at night in the park and wake up and not have any shoes because somebody literally took them off their feet while they were asleep. Or, you know, they leave their stuff in what they think. See you, Jeff. you know, people will leave they can't, you know, to think that you have to like live out of a backpack literally, because if you have anything you can't fit in a backpack, you have to try to find a safe place to stash it, because there's nowhere that you can just like, you know, there's loitering laws. Like you can't just hang out at places because the city won't allow that and they'll run you off. And yeah, Scott, like I hate politics. I really do. I wish that I didn't have to know anything about them, but unfortunately, I know some about politics and how ugly people can be. It's the people acting like that are the people that probably have a nice house and a car and a job, and you know, and they look at these people like they're the scum of the earth, and that's just not the case. Like these people are also people. Some of them have made bad choices. Some of them are out here because they got a divorce and lost their mind along with everything else, because divorces can be hard. Some people have lost a loved one and lost their minds or lost everything because they chose to spend the dying days next to that person instead of going to work. Like there's so many circumstances that can come into play here, and it just breaks my heart that people are so ugly, that people are like have zero compassion. You know, when Lauren had posted that post on Facebook, she got so many negative comments, and it just, so I reached out to her in a private message because I didn't want to get attacked too, like, and I just tried to be encouraging and tell her thank you for what she's done, and told her that, you know, just because she doesn't have that job anymore doesn't mean that she has to stop helping these people and advocating for them. And I would stand up next to her and have her back on it. And I know several other organizations in town that would also. And she's also responsible for bringing lots of organizations together to meet a common cause. Yeah, Scott, that's right. You know, people have locked Jesus out of their hearts, and their hearts have been hardened for it. And really, I mean, like, while I want to, there's that inner voice in me that's like, we got to get them and take them out. You know, it's really, we should be praying for them, that God softens their heart. And it just, I don't even know. It's complicated. It's sticky and tough.
I don't know if she's already brought this point up, but she's also the one responsible for, we've mentioned it in past videos that
you have goosebumps.
They got the old school, Franklin School, donated
to be a day center.
To be a day center for these people to go to.
People could go there and do laundry and take showers and stay warm and get a hot meal.
And we've been really excited about that happening, and I don't know what's going to happen now that
we were going to be part of a census that they do regularly to find out, you know, and it wasn't just going to go out and see how many unhoused people there were. Like, from my understanding, we were going to go out and talk to these people and find out how they got in that situation, how they got here, or whether they're from here or not. And it turns out somebody had told us, oh, we're not going to do that because there was a bump in the road. And they didn't tell us. We didn't ask. We're just like, oh, okay, well, call us when you need us, you know. And they come to find out it's because the person organizing that was released from her job. So it's bad.
Yeah.
However, an update on our sleeping bag drive. We have received 35 sleeping bags. We are only 5 away from our goal.
Yeah. And we've actually got a couple of packages to pick up. So I'm assuming that that's probably what's there, but we don't know.
They might be they might be sleeping bags, they might not. I don't know. So we didn't have time to go by the post office before we came here. So we'll be swinging by there on our way home.
Yeah.
To see what they've got for us. So it's awesome that you guys have come through so much for us.
Hi, Amy.
Hey, Amy.
Love you guys.
We want to give a special shout out to Renee in PA. That's her her username, and she is a viewer that found us through Walker Farm Fam, which is also a really awesome channel. They are such good people. And she sent us 10 sleeping bags. Like, we thought we were never going to make it to our goal. We're like, man, this is kind of going slow. But we were happy and grateful for what we had received thus far. We went to the post office last week, and there was a huge box, and it had 10 sleeping bags in it. And so that was just super incredible.
Dana,
Like,
some of those are coming in with little cards that say...
yeah, we got Dana's.
Oh, did we get Dana's?
Yes,
Okay, yes, we did then.
She had included a gift receipt, and yeah, we did get hers.
Okay.
We've already given yours out. Like I said, we wanted to give out more today because we've got them. We brought them with us. Fortunately, they're vacuum packed and sealed and stuff, so the rain hasn't. There was only 2 of them that we had to put inside the truck while it was raining.
Did you see what Scott said?
No.
Let's get in the truck and let's go.
Oh yeah, let's go. We still need to go by Cowboy's house and we still have soup for them, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So also, y'all know our friend Cowboy that was coming every week at the beginning. He ended up getting a really bad infection in his legs. So he ended up in a nursing home for a month or so, or
yeah, about a month.
I can't remember.
It was about a month.
And he is now back at home with his brothers. So that's good. He wants to go back to the nursing home, honestly.
Yeah,
Scott says road trip.
Yeah, Cowboy told us last week. We stopped by there, and we didn't even know he was home. So we didn't even have him a plate made.
We felt bad because we had meatloaf and mashed potatoes and stuff, and it was so good.
Joe and Michael got some, but we didn't have a plate made for Cowboy. And
luckily, we always put, like, we make them big plates. So we told them they had to share with Cowboy. Also, you guys have seen our friend Tyrone. He is the guy who's deaf, and he's just such a sweet guy.
And he's been missing for a while, and we've been really worried about
And we've
him.
even sent, like, we don't know exactly what house he lives in, but he was living right here down the street somewhere. And we sent a couple people over there to knock on the door and see what was up. And then last week,
Last week, Cowboy.
Yeah, last week, they finally told us that, or someone finally told us that Tyrone was in the same nursing home that Cowboy was in.
Bye, Lori.
So, see you, Lori. Y'all got to go check out LG Homestead. They are remodeling a house that they just bought. I'm totally jealous of their shop.
Yeah.
We totally have shop envy, but it's really sad because Lori's a single mom with a teenage son, and they're doing all of this work pretty much by themselves. And they hired a guy to go in under the house and fix the floor, and he totally scammed them. He hid the materials under the house and didn't do any of the work, and he's already been paid for it. So I know that that's got to be frustrating. So y'all go check out LG because they're doing great things over there. She's got like 100 chickens named Terry. after Terry at oh, thanks Scott for dropping her link. Will you drop Dana's link also? That would be awesome because people should check out Dana and definitely pray for that baby and their family. Oh, I know, Dana. I was like, man, that's just some people out there, you know? Like, there's lots of good people, but unfortunately, there's at least just as many bad people.
So you got sidetracked.
So.
Did you ever get to the point of where Tyrone is?
I think I said that he's at the nursing home.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. Squirrel. I'm kind of blonde and I get easily distracted. I have an idea go through my head and I'm like, oh, I better talk about that before I forget. And then I
kinda don't have nothing to do with it. She is truly blonde.
don't listen to him. See, my hair's wet. It doesn't look like as blonde. Does that count? Oh man, it's cold out here. The kids are already in the truck and nobody else is showing up to eat. Wiley Dunn already packed everything up. So I guess we're done here for the day.
Let's go by Cowboy's house and I don't know. Do you guys want to ride along if we go to Cowboy's house?
Also, our friends come over yesterday and tell them about what we're gonna go check out later.
Oh my Lord.
We're
I'm so
excited.
excited. I've been wanting just a little farm use dump truck.
Because there's been times when we're like, the city of Norman or Moore or whatever, they sell compost for like $20 a scoop or something.
$20 for, you know, I mean, it'll fill the dump truck, you know, a small dump truck up. It's quite a bit.
But we can't go get it because we don't have a way to go get it. Like,
so our friends come over yesterday and we was talking and he was like, hey, I got something that you need to check out. They've got a 1952 Chevrolet dump truck that was
super cool.
That was driven and parked in their field, of course, quite a few years ago. But it's not the first time I've took one out of the field that's been sitting for 20 or 30 years and got it running and put it on the road. He give it to us, told us to come get it.
We just have to figure out how to get it out of the woods.
I mean, I can do it. I can get it out. But I'm so excited to go get it and try to get this thing on the road again and use it around the farm. That's going to be so awesome.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This guy can fix just about anything. So they said they want to go for a ride. Let's go for a ride.
Okay.
Let's get in the truck where it's warm.
I won't shut up because I'm trying to.
Okay, well, you guys can't be arguing in the truck. You want to say hi to everybody? There's Lilybug.
I'm the little Willy monster.
Yeah, you're talking like a baby. She said she's the little Lily monster. Yeah, she is.
I like stealing people's cheese.
You like stealing people's cheese? Yes, we definitely need to post pictures. And we did a video the other day. We haven't had time to put it out yet. To be honest, I don't know how much I want to go into this, but I've had some ongoing litigation in court where I've had to represent myself. And before I met Wiley, I was dating a guy who was not who he said he was. He said that he could do this and do that and that he wanted this kind of life and whatever. And after being with him for a while, he was trying to find a nice-ish way to say this, but he was like not who he said he was. Let's just go with that because it's ridiculous. So we did a video the other day about telling the weather or predicting the weather with persimmons. It's an old like folklore thing where they have you know, you'll either cut open a persimmon seed and it'll have like a fork, a spoon, or a knife. And when we had mentioned this on Scott's Live the other day, everybody's like, what is that? And so a fork means that it's going to be a mild winter. A spoon means you're going to be shoveling snow. And a knife means it's going to be like so cold it's going to feel like, you know, cutting with a knife or something. So we did that, and I haven't had time to edit that video because I've been playing lawyer for the last several days. So hopefully we'll get that video out soon. Oh, you're gonna get this? Okay. So we found when we cut open all those persimmon seeds, I guess, I don't know if we did it right or not. It's the first time we've ever done it. And but there were 9 for sure forks and maybe 1 knife. It could have been a fork. But so it says that it's going to be a pretty mild winter. So I don't know, maybe. Hopefully that's the case because last winter it was pretty cold and we got snow when we don't normally get snow. And we had negative temperatures and it was so cold. So, but anyway, back to my drama. I was dating this guy, and y'all don't judge me, but oops, I turned my volume down. I was really, really stupid because I felt like we had the same ideas in mind as far as like starting a homestead and that kind of stuff. And So we financed land together. That was a bad idea. So in September of 2019, at that point, we had been living on the property for 16 months, and he had not done anything. Like, we agreed that he was having a hard time at work, and I come to find out he just doesn't like to work. And so he was having a hard time at work with some people, and he quit his job. And I said, okay, if you're not going to have a job, you're going to be working around here building things while I work to pay for everything. Ever since we financed the land, I made every monthly payment on the land. I made every monthly payment on the storage building that we bought to turn into a house, and I paid all the bills. Like the contract with the electric company was in my name. There was just, I paid it all, and he paid none of it. And he also didn't do any work. And so I had to file an eviction against him because in September of 2019, Child Welfare Services had launched an investigation on allegations of threat of harm as well as an inadequate or dangerous shelter. And that was because, like, after 16 months of living on that property, we still didn't have an indoor bathroom. We didn't have a kitchen. We didn't have running water. We were using to get electricity to the house. We were just using an extension cord that had 3 plugs on it, which was like the air conditioner, the TV, and 1 light, maybe. It was terrible. Like, he literally did nothing. And then my kids tell me that he's locking them outside when it's hot and not letting them in. He was mean to them while I was not around. And I was, my mama bear kicked in, and I was like, I can't stand for this. I can't be with a guy who's going to mistreat my kids and spend all day watching TV or hanging out at the lake while I'm outside busting my butt to pay for everything, and he's not getting anything done. Like, I'm not even joking. When he left, the house was pretty much an empty shell, and he took things that he shouldn't have taken. He took the water heater that I had just bought. He took all of the plumbing supplies and the electrical supplies that I had paid for and collected. He took all kinds of stuff. He even took all the food. He took towels, blankets. He took Hunter's birthday money. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And so in order to get him off of the property, I filed an eviction. And even though he's part owner in the property, I evicted him. And then the court granted me temporary possession of everything. And I had to file an ejectment. And like I said, I've been representing myself in this case because I was a single mom and didn't have money to pay for an attorney. Like, an attorney was wanting like $10,000 to represent me in this case. And there was just no way I was going to pull that out of my hat, So I had to do the research, and I delivered the mail to an attorney on my route, and I would ask him questions, and he'd tell me what I needed to do and things like that. And so I'm eternally grateful for him. Well, this last week, I finally had my last court hearing on that, and the judge ruled in my favor as far as I get to keep the house and the land. But now his attorney, because he somehow had money to hire an attorney, but he didn't have money to contribute to anything while we lived together. He has to file, now it's turning into a breach of contract case, which honestly I know nothing about. So I'm really gonna have to do some research. This year, between stimulus checks and my tax return and what I got out of my TSP when I quit the post office, I was able to pay the land off. I paid the house off. I had every intention of quitting my job to start our nonprofit. So when I quit, I took every lump sum that I got and paid off any debt that we had so that we wouldn't have to worry about having a lot of monthly expenses. So long story short, it's been a long couple years. Like, I filed this case in 2019, and it's been 2 years, and it just got handled. Like, a couple months ago, we went to court, I think it was in August, and his attorney had the audacity to say, I need more time because I haven't had time to look at this case. And I'm like, are you kidding me? It's been 2 years. Get your crap together, man. Like, you do this for a living. You've been paid to do it, and you didn't do it. So, glad he's not my attorney. Glad I didn't waste my money on him. So, my ex-boyfriend was ordered to pay for the court costs and return all the things that he took. So, I don't know what that's going to amount to because it's been 2 years, and I doubt he's still got any of it. So, anyway, Donna asked about Cowboy, and we are at his house right now. Wiley is delivering food, and he's talking to one of Cowboy's brothers. So I don't know if I don't know how Cowboy is, because last week he was doing okay, and last week he said he wanted to go back to the nursing home because he said, I have my own room there and my own bathroom and da 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 da, and he liked it. So, which, I mean, the nursing home would definitely be an improvement from that. So that's their house. It is literally falling apart. Hey guys, how are y'all today? Oh, he is? Oh. Okay. Well, I mean, that's where he wanted to be. So, yeah, at least he's not forced to be somewhere he didn't want to be. Yep. So, Donna, to answer your question, they just said that Cowboy, you know, I told you that he wanted to be in the nursing home. And his nurse came to change his bandages, and he told his nurse that he wanted to go back to the nursing home. So now he's going to be there permanently, at least until he changes his mind or something. So thanks, Scott. It's been quite a ride the last couple of years. Between that and there's also issues with my ex-husband that I can't talk about because the kids are in the back seat. But so it's, y'all, all I gotta say is I should have been an attorney, because with as much as I've been in court in the last 2 years, it's ridiculous. It really is. Dana, that's right. At least we know that Cowboy's being taken care of there. We don't know a lot about his medical situation. We know that he had Down syndrome. Wiley shut the door and it knocked the phone over. Cowboy had Down syndrome, or has Down syndrome, and he can, like, I mean, obviously he's taking care of himself enough to survive, but
well, let me tell you.
Oh, okay. Wiley can tell you. Hang on here.
Joe just told me last week, whenever we come up here, Cowboy was waiting on the nurse to come by to change his bandage on his leg. Cowboy just told me, or Joe just told me that she just showed up yesterday to change his bandage on his leg, and it was full of maggots.
Oh my gosh.
So they said that they
awful.
took him to the nursing home, and the hospital. They called an ambulance, took him to the hospital, and they said that a raccoon has been eaten on his leg. He's got a huge hole in his leg where a raccoon has been eating his leg.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
That's awful.
And I guess they must have told Joe and Michael that they have to move, because he said they're starting Monday to find a new place.
Oh no. That's awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So the hospital is forcing Cowboy to go back to the nursing home, which that's what he wanted anyway. So,
Yeah, he wanted to be in the nursing home. That's probably the best place for him because, I mean, we could tell by when we see him on a regular. Yeah, Amy said that nurse needs to be fired.
I'm telling you.
She should have been there a week ago and just showed up yesterday.
So,
yeah, I don't know why this phone is like, I need to hold it up there. I didn't know that. But that's awful. We know that last year when we met Cowboy, he was telling us that their house is in such bad shape, it's ridiculous. Like he said that when it snows on his bed because there's a hole in the roof. And he wasn't joking. There really is.
I'm gonna swing by Mom's and make her some.
Okay. So he told us that there was a raccoon that would come in his room at night. And apparently that raccoon has been having his leg for dinner. That's sad. That is so sad.
And I don't know. I'm not all that up. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about that kind of stuff, but I know I've got a cousin that's the same age I am that's Down syndrome. Me and him's grown up together, and I know he has no feeling in like the bottoms of his feet and in his legs and stuff. When we was kids, he walked across some mattress springs that had been burnt, and they was so hot that they melted into his feet, and he didn't even know it. He couldn't feel it. So I'm assuming, maybe that's something to do with Cowboy, is he may not have any feeling, and he didn't know, he couldn't tell,
Yeah, it probably didn't hurt. I mean, which is good in a sense.
Yeah.
But that's awful. Let's see. Joy said that place probably needs to be torn down.
It has actually been on the condemned list for quite some time, but from what I gather, the city of Shawnee has kind of turned turned away.
They've kind of like, there's a lot of people that know the situation of the brothers. Like all three of them have Down syndrome like issues, and they have lived in that house their whole life. Like Wiley can remember growing up, and didn't their mom babysit someone you knew or something? Yeah. So Wiley's known their family his whole life, really, but didn't make that connection when we met Cowboy last year. And so when we took Cowboy home on Christmas Day, because when we volunteered at the Shawnee Rescue Mission, Cowboy had gotten stuff for Christmas, and between the Christmas gifts, what he brought with him, and the food that he was going to take home to his brothers, he couldn't carry all of it. So we gave him a ride. Hey, Raising Ronies, how are you today? And we helped him carry his stuff into his house, and we saw the shape that it was in. Glenn, the guy who runs the Shawnee Rescue Mission, had given us a little backstory on the situation. And we were like, we got to help these guys. Like, we got to do something to this house. And we dug and dug and dug and got with other organizations to kind of like, I was willing to fundraise and go to like, Lowe's and the other home improvement stores or whatever locally and try to get donations to like put a roof on the house, but the walls are in such bad shape. They don't even have insulation. They don't have interior walls. Like, they have the studs and the siding, and you can see outside. So it's actually a good thing that the brothers are having to move, but at the same time, they've lived in that house their whole life, and they're not all there, and it's sad. It's a really sad situation. So they Dana, you asked if they could go to the facility with Cowboy. I don't know. I don't know a lot about nursing homes. I know that the brothers are like, they also suffer from some sort of mental illness, and I mean, they survive, but they don't thrive at all. We wanted to like rebuild that house, and we looked into it, and we started digging, and then we found out that we better stop digging because that house has been on the demolition list for years, and there's just several people in town that are in, positions of power essentially that were sensitive to the situation. And when that house would come across the demo list, they just didn't tear it down. So, but yes, it definitely is going to be condemned. I guarantee it. Joy, they actually, and that's one of the things, is we were talking with the brothers and we were trying to find out if they would be interested in moving, because rehoming them, if that's even the right word, would be easier than rebuilding that house. And they're like, well, why would we want to move? This place is paid for. They didn't even know that they didn't own it. And so what had happened is the city had donated that property. There were back taxes on it, and the city had donated it to a nonprofit organization. And that nonprofit organization is no longer in business. So we couldn't get permission from anybody. We know that if we started pulling permits, that the house would be condemned and they'd be worse off than they were. And so and they were happy there. They didn't want to move. They didn't see anything wrong with their living situation. And who are we to come in and tell them that we live in a shed, and I wouldn't like it if someone come and said, hey, this isn't good enough because it's not a 3,000 square foot house or something. Who are we to tell people how to live and how to be happy in the way that they live? So long story short, we've just been checking on them and feeding them every week and stuff. And even though we wanted to rebuild the house, but we couldn't even put new siding on the house because the floor inside had been rotted so bad that if they had, if we started putting weight on that house at all, whether it was a tin roof or whether it was new siding or anything, it probably would have fallen in on itself. So it's been really, it's really sad. I don't know what the list is for assisted housing. I know that, well, depends on what you mean by assisted housing. Like if they want to get on what is called housing, they pay, that's where the, I don't know, program or whatever. I've never dealt with that, so I don't know what that entails, but they would only pay a portion of what the actual rent was, and the government, or I don't know, whoever, I don't know where that money comes from, but they would pay the other portion. We do know from our previous research that they do get Social Security checks. So they're not going to be completely blindsided by this. They shouldn't be put on the street, but it's going to be hard to find somebody who will rent to them with the issues that they have. So, and then Joy, you said that if they own the land, see, we wanted, and that was the thing. It's like, we have a sawmill. We were like, we could just build them a tiny home. But we would have had to have permits to tear the house down, and they didn't own the land. So we couldn't get a hold of anybody who did own the land. And so we didn't want to make those changes because we didn't have the authority to do so. And they didn't either. And so it was sucked because we really were gung-ho about helping them and getting them in a better situation, but they were happy with the situation that they were in. And the more we dug into it, the more we found out that they were gonna be worse off if we continued to dig. So we've just been doing what we can by feeding them and checking on them and seeing if there's anything that they need and things like that. So let's see. Joy said, ask the city to donate it to your organization.
Well, that's the whole thing, is it's already been donated to an organization that don't even exist anymore.
Yeah, and since an organization doesn't have to pay property, like nonprofits don't have to pay property taxes, I don't think that it'll ever be gotten you know, being sold for back taxes or something. So that might be something that we could look into, but I don't know what the city would require of that. And we have our state certification to be a nonprofit, and we've applied for our EIN through the IRS, but we don't have a nonprofit status through the IRS yet, so I don't know if that would matter. That's a lot of legality and paperwork and stuff that has to be done, and with all the other court stuff I've had to deal with, it hasn't been at the top of my priority list yet. So hopefully we'll be getting that done this winter, maybe. Applying for that. I don't know why the camera keeps like making me all white and bright. Like,
Focusing.
yeah, this camera is supposed to be good and do like this autofocus thing or something, and it's not doing a good job.
We're going in and out of shady spots.
Yeah. Dana said it depends on the ordinance of the city if a shed to house is legal there, and that's something we didn't know either. Is like technically the land that we bought, after I started going to court, I found out that you have to have, there's a covenant, and the residence has to be a minimum of 1,000 square feet. I'm like, that, hopefully nobody tells on us, because our house is not 1,000.
Yeah, barely half that.
And if it becomes an issue, we're gonna have to like build some decks all the way around it and try to get that 1,000 square foot. Let's see. And Scott, you're right. It would. He said it would cost more to remove that house than the land's worth.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, we gotta go meet up with Ben. Are we headed to their house? Oh, wait, we need to go to the post office. And then go to Ben and join his house. Okay. Yeah. All right. Trying to get my life together here. So. See, and Scott, oops, my ring got caught in here. I can't talk a lot about what's going on with the other court litigation because the kids are in the back seat and they don't need to hear it. But I helped their grandma, which is their dad's mom, get into a nursing home because she had her leg amputated last year because she's diabetic, and she still eats more sugar than she should. So, like a lot more sugar than she should. And at the nursing home she's in, she is on, I don't know the difference. She's on SSI, I think. And after they cover all of her expenses, she gets $35 a month. And your mom. I'm telling you, this is super awesome. But anyway, yeah. So they don't even get $100. Like, and she has to buy her own toiletries. Since she's in a wheelchair, she needs adult diapers and stuff for incontinence issues and things like that, and she is just gonna have to like go without because they don't provide that stuff, and $35 a month isn't enough to pay for all of it. I mean, it's $40 for one box of adult diapers. She only gets 35. She can't even buy one box. It wouldn't even last her all month. So Wiley's mom gets some of those things, and she gets extras. So she helps out sometimes when she can. But it's just sad because like they don't even. You said they get $100 to spend on toiletries. Here, that's not the case. At least not in her situation. It might be different for other people whose situation is different than hers, but she didn't work a whole lot through her life. So she's not entitled to any sort of retirement funds or anything like that. So I don't even know, but she's really upset. She's not happy where she is. But the situation that she was in before, she got 2 showers in a whole year. That was it. Tell me that's not neglect. Like, and then she wasn't seeing a doctor regularly, so she wasn't on any of her medications. I mean, her legs were purple when I got her into that nursing home. They were purple. Like, I'm honestly surprised that she still has her other leg. And it's just been the previous situation that she was in, living with her son, was a very, very bad. It was very it was abusive, it was neglectful, it was, I don't even know what other words to use that are appropriate with the kids in the back seat. And it was a really bad situation. And I tried to explain to her, she's, you know, even though she's not happy where she is, the food isn't that great, she gets a shower 3 times a week. She has a roof over her head. Nobody's hurting her. Nobody's talking down to her. And, you know, she has a hard time finding peace in that. And that's something I pray for her a lot about, because it really frustrates me. With the people that we serve on a regular basis, it, you know, at least she's got 3 meals a day. At least she has a roof over her head. At least it's, I don't know, I'm really good at, but I'm a positive person. I'm really good at finding things to be thankful for. Like, when I'd be delivering the mail and the weather was cold and wet and rainy and the mail was heavy, and I just had to, you know, my saying was, when life gives you rain, play in the puddles. You know, kind of like when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. But in that sense, because I mean, when I was out there delivering the mail and I was soaking wet, that's the only thing I could be thankful for usually was, you know, and I once you get so wet, oh, I don't even think Wiley knows what post office box number. 644. It's around the corner. But you know, when you're out there working in the rain, you can only get so wet. I mean, once you're soaked, you're soaked. So why walk around stomping and being upset because you're wet? There's nothing you can do about it. So I stopped worrying about it, and I figured once I got wet, I'd go out of my way to walk through puddles and splash and play like a kid, because that's all I could do. I mean, to find a positive in a negative situation is really powerful. Like, it really helps. So I'm going to go through comments really quick because I was talking so much. Let's see. Where are you at, Lori Carp? Bye, Raising Ronies, if you're still here. Thank you for stopping by. Lori Carp said, hopefully there will be some kind of housing for them. I really hope so. We have different kinds of assisted living in the sense that, you know, what would be great is if they could get into, there's a couple like high-rise apartment buildings, I guess you'd call it, where they have little like 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartments where people can go and it's not 100% on their own. You know, they have people that like maintain the building and they do like activities and they provide a hot meal every day, so they don't have to like worry about cooking for themselves and stuff like that. And so there's places like that, and I would love to see them in a place like that where they had help but they still had their independence. Dana said, then you would have to have licensed plumbers and electricians if in city limits, and that is a thing. Fortunately, from delivering the mail, I made lots of friends, and I actually had, there was a guy on my route that was a plumber that owned his own plumbing company. And when I was trying to get my house up to standards to meet DHS requirements, he helped me out and gave me a great rate. And so that was awesome. So I knew a licensed plumber and a licensed electrician that would probably have donated their services if we could buy materials or something. To help out with that. That's something that had went through my head, and I had checked with them, and they had confirmed that they'd love to help, but we never got that far. So, but yeah, that's right. When you're in city limits, you have to have permits, and you have to have people who are licensed, and you have to meet code and all of that. And so it just, yeah, it's tough. We do have a food bank. It's been a long time since I've been to it, so I don't know exactly what they offer. It kind of just goes, you know, whatever's donated. I know the last time I went was a couple years ago. Oh, dang it. Okay, all right, sorry. Somebody was calling Wiley again. They offered, like, you'd get so many points per person that was in your household, and more packages. And
Two sleeping bags.
Sorry, Wiley distracted me. Couple more sleeping bags.
2 more.
Woohoo! Look, 2 more sleeping
2
bags.
more.
Yay!
We're down
So
to 3 now.
we need 3 more. 3 more sleeping bags to meet our goal. That's so exciting. Anyway, they had some toiletries available, but you were only entitled to get like a couple rolls of toilet paper and 1 toothbrush or something like that, you know. And so there wasn't, it did help, but it definitely wasn't everything you needed. Let's see. And Scott, you're right. It was elder abuse. And that's how I saw it. And when I had found out what happened, I called the authorities. Like, it was a hard decision to make because, you know, you don't really, it's really hard when you're in that spot. But I called, I prayed about it a lot, and I called child services and I called adult services because she was being abused and the kids were too. And not just by viewing the abuse or seeing the abuse, but they were having, I mean, he left bruises on them too. And so I called child services and adult services, and adult services helped me get their grandma into this nursing home. So, I mean, and neglect too. Like, that's your mom giving her
1 bath in over a year.
2 baths, 2 showers in a whole year. Are you kidding me? Like, we take a shower every single night. It's very rare that we skip a shower. I mean, if we went camping, we'd be okay for a day or 2, but I couldn't even imagine 2 showers in a year. That's just nuts. Thanks, Scott. He said, knowing a bit, you are an amazing angel for so many folks. I just try to do what I feel is right in my heart, and I try to take into consideration the, you know, when it comes to calling adult services and child services, I weighed the pros and cons because nobody wants the government up in their business, because, you know, that's just, it's tough. And it was really a hard decision to make, but after praying about it, I felt it was the right thing to do. And, you know, the woman drives me nuts, to be honest with you, but she's the grandmother to my children, and because they love her so much, I couldn't not help her. I couldn't not try to get her into a better place. It just drives me crazy that she can't see all the positive things, you know, that she can't be grateful in that situation. And I know, like, I've never had to live in a nursing home. you know, obviously. But to have somebody clean up after you, have a nurse that checks on you a couple times a day, have doctors that come to you, to have 3 meals a day, and be in a safe place where nobody can hurt you, to me, that would mean a lot. But to her, it's an inconvenience. And she even tried to go home, and he wouldn't let her, which, in my opinion, is not a bad thing at all, because it would have, I mean, I don't know how much y'all know about abusers and domestic violence situations, but they never get better. And I've never heard of an abuser changing and not being abusive. I mean, and he was abusive physically, emotionally, mentally, all of the above. And it was just not a good place for her. And I understand that that's her only child, but just because that's your only child, you can't have to worry about them breaking all of your stuff and talking down to you and physically putting hands on you. In my opinion, there's no justification for that at all. None. I mean, she's a disabled woman, and he hurt her, and it's his mom, you know, like, I don't even know. I can't with that. It's bad.
So we're probably going to be losing signal here pretty quick whenever we turn down.
Oh yeah. If we get cut off, it's because we are driving and cell phone service kind of goes in and out when you're driving through these hills. So, yep, Lori, they sure do. She said that nursing homes take the majority of the check, and they do. I mean, like I said, she gets $35 a month. That's not enough to support anything. I mean, I could probably stretch $35, but I don't smoke, I don't eat candy, I do sometimes, but if I was diabetic, I wouldn't, and if all of my needs were being met, all she would need that $35 for is to buy some shampoo and a couple bars of soap and that kind of stuff. And that could work, but she's not happy about it. She only gets like $500 a month, and out of that, she'll get $35. So let's see. Yeah, Lori, when you consider, all of your toiletry stuff, like I said, the biggest thing she needs is adult diapers, and they're $40 a box, and she gets $35. She can't even afford one. They don't even provide like cloth things, and not to mention when he kicked her out of his house, and when she left, she couldn't take a lot of her clothes or personal belongings or anything. So the clothes that she has now are clothes that were donated by the nurses at the nursing home. And the things that they've gotten out of the lost and found there or whatever. And that's it. Like, there's no way that she can herself. I understand her frustration in that sense, but at the same time, she, in my opinion, try to find a sign because there's a positive. Yeah, jumped on. I'm reading comments. Sorry. Let's see. Oh no. Scott said that he got a letter last week. The government has cut him off his disability, so now he may have to sell his house. What? Oh my gosh, that is awful, Scott. Wow. That is awful. Wow, we will definitely have you. Oh my goodness.
Scott was and he had to sell his house. He just let him stay at ours.
Come to Oklahoma and then you can live with us. In our tiny home.
I mean, it's big enough for Scott to live in it too.
We could build a shed.
Scott has a wife and kids.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Lily said you can have her room, Scott. Man. He said, it is what it is, Dana. The Lord has something planned. He's not filled me in yet, and I'm far too far for this much stress. I don't know. Wow. One good thing, Scott, is, let's see. If questions are not asked, people do not know other than what they are told. If they are out of country, they only know what they see on the news and such. So no offense taken. Oops, let's see. Yeah, Lori, you're right. Like, even the basic needs can't be met with $35 a month. Scott said, I agree, Dana. I'm not happy about government since the native Canadian residential housing. Scott says he loves you, Lily. Lori says your kids are so sweet. Most of the time, when they're not arguing and fighting with each other. He said he's far too fat to fit in your room, Lily. That's she has a very, very tiny room. It, our house is like 500 square feet, and she have like, I don't know.
It was a 12 by 10 space that we made 4 bedrooms out of, 2 upstairs and 2 downstairs.
Yeah. So Lily has like a lot of a bedroom, and it's big enough for a twin size mattress and a bookshelf, and that's about it. And
it's only about
4 foot tall.
Well, not even 4 foot. I don't think it's only probably 3.5 foot. 3.
I know that like I can sit in our bedroom, like sit up straight, but my butt's on the floor and my head is touching the so if you sit up too quick in bed, you bump your head.
That's a rhyme,
Yeah,
it was a rhyme. Yeah. Dana says she needs to get something done today.
show them the school bus thing when you
And have a blessed day. So thank you, Dana. See you later. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us. And like I said, everybody for Hey guys.
Hey guys,
Like I said,
we're gonna pick up a school bus today.
we ain't picking it up, and it's not a school bus. It's a dump truck.
dump truck.
Well, we're gonna go look at a school bus today. I mean, a dump truck today that was parked in the 90s.
He's like, Mom, I didn't know you were alive that long ago. Thanks for making me feel old.